view it, comment. Of course, you viewed it. That's silly. But of course, ensure that you subscribe, you like, and you share, right? I would really greatly appreciate, because, we're growing, manze, and not grow. So please support me kindly. So there's a lot of things that has been going on for the last 24 hours. And by the way, did you know that solar eclipse 2024 has already happened? It happened in the United States. I followed it online. But kitu sijui, why didn't it happen in Kenya, ama in this other part of the world? I don't understand. If you studied solar science, if you studied all this, geographic stuff, solar system, planet, whatever, please tell me why, explain to me why this solar eclipse thing 2024 didn't happen here in Kenya. Because, by the way, I remember the last time it happened, I was in class 4, and kids, of course, we were still kids then. So kids were really happy. How could a night appear in the middle of the day? So, of course, I was a kid. I used to ask myself a lot of questions. Why is this happening? So then, to some people, it is a once in a lifetime kind of experience. So, we want to experience it again. So please make us understand why, especially me, make me understand why this, this did happen in Kenya. But meanwhile, in Kenya, there's been a lot of things that has been happening or that has been trending. This guy called Narendra Raval, I don't know if you know him, is a rich mogul businessman. He's a great investor. He has mastered the art of making money in this country. He is somebody who has, roots and, roots in business industry in Kenya. He is an investor in steel processing industry. He's an investor in cement industry. And also his wife, by the way, who is a Kenyan. Remember, this Narendra guy, Narendra. Don't confuse him with Narendra Modi, who is the Prime Minister of India. He's Narendra Raval. He relocated to Kenya from India. He was born in India, but he came into Kenya and settled here. And, he started, he had a job, and then he married a Kenyan woman. And as a result of that, they started to live together. And right now, the wife is also a dominant player in outfit industry. So he's a known guy. He's been close to big politicians in this country, President Ruto, former President Uhuru Kenyatta, former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga. So he's somebody who is connected. He's known, right? So why is he trending? So yesterday, there was a commissioning of a certain project in West Pokot, a project that intends to take advantage of clinker, which is a very, very key, important raw material in manufacturing cement. So, of course, it's a $29 billion project. And he's the major investor in that particular project. So, in that commissioning event, state government, state leaders were there. He was there. And, of course, the public was there. And other important guests were also there. And one of the things that was said there, which was said by this guy called Narendra, was that he would wish President Ruto to go or to, be in power for the next 25 years. This sparked mixed reaction, in the public and even among politicians, because I remember today when I switched on into many TVs, into many networks, KTN, NTV, Citizen, even politicians were debating what these statements were about, because Kenyans are very conspiratorial. That's what I've come to learn. Many Kenyans like conspiracies, so they never let something go just like that. They always think that there's something behind it. So many Kenyans were asking themselves questions: did this guy just say it, or there's something deeper into it? Especially after we've had politicians, especially in government, MPs, senators, and even some CSs, hinting that there could be a bill that will want to alter the current, presidential tenure or term to 7 years. So, so people, of course, people having that in mind, they believe that this guy or this Narendra Raval guy saying this wasn't just out of the air. It is something that maybe will have ulterior meaning or ulterior objective, just to see what Kenyans think about that idea. I don't know. I don't want to comment on that, but seriously, the idea that many Kenyans are opposed to this kind of thinking clearly tell you that they're not in for this government. They're not supporting this government. They're just like tired with what this government is doing. Of course, we are 17 months on, and it's just negative news every day, every day. Right now, we have doctors on the street. They are protesting. Of course, today I saw a very big rally there that was done by some members of parliament led by Babu Wino. I just watched the speech by Babu Wino where he mentioned that of course they're going to move forward or go forward with the impeachment motion against the Kumincha. And it shows you that, and apart from that, also there's economy issues. Of course, we are having our shillings going up or increasing in value, but still there's issues to do with the economy, right? We're still borrowing a lot. In fact, I was shocked, and that news depresses me every time I see it. That 83% of the debt that we collect goes to debt servicing. So it means we remain with 17%, right? 17%, just 17%. Government of Kenya remains with 17% to be able to conduct its routine businesses. So that is development planning because they in the financial year they also have to ensure that they do some sort of recurrent expenditure. So that is maintenance, paying salaries to civil servants, and also ensuring that at least the system goes on as usual. So you see 17%. So Kenyans are just tired because of course when the government was coming to power, when Ruto was coming to power, one of the promises was that he was going to ensure that debt is not going to be accumulated more and more. But what Kenyans have been witnessing is different, because what we've seen is that right now the debt level has gone up to 11.1 trillion, right from 10.2 trillion. So Kenyans are like, oh, what are you doing? And in fact, some of these things have been inspired. Given that some of these things have been inspired by the scriptures. The other day, Ruto mentioned that in the Bible it was mentioned that a man who leaves debt to his children is no better. It's not better, right, than a man who leaves inheritance to his children. He asserted that, of course, we have to work hard to ensure that we don't leave debt to our children, but we leave them inheritance, we leave them wealth, we leave them better economy, leave them development. But that is just exactly the opposite from what he's been doing, because of course he's been taking a lot of debt right now, and so Kenyans are tired. So this makes Kenyans negatively interact with the comments or with the statements that were made by this innocent guy called Narendra Raval, that he wants Kenyan president to be in power for the next 25 years. Of course, it will be a very difficult thing to do. It will need the parliament to be able to alter that bill, that act in parliament that makes the presidential tenure or term to be not more than 10 years. That if he gets elected, he gets re-elected, right? So 5 years for the first election, second 5 years for the second term, no more than that. So it will need parliament to go debate about it. But before that, even it will require the public to participate through referendum process, which I don't think many Kenyans will do. But of course, all this referendum process, it's possible. Never say never, because when it goes to referendum, Kenyans will just be, it's a political thing. So if it's a referendum, politicians will likely go out there, and Ruto will go there and say, we need to support this. And they'll come up with many reasons, such as, we need time for development. We need time to develop. And so 10 years is not that enough. 10 years is not that enough. So we need kind of more time to be able to deliver the promises of the government. So, you don't know. But I just want to say, this is something that was really, blown my mind. Like, blown my mind off. Well, will you suggest 25 years? It's the same matter 15 years, Mazi. Because I was like, okay, so if right now that bill is passed, that 25 years, so it means right now, let's just say maybe for a guy who's 25 years old, assume I'm 25 years old. I'm not saying I'm 25 years old, but just assume I'm 25 years old. So right now, if it's 25 years, then if I give a child, for example, if I'm 26, at 26 years, I'll be, maybe if I have the first child at my 26th birthday, let's just say that. So my child will be 10 years in 2036, right? And so he'll be in high school roughly in 2040 there, right? When he'll be, 14 years. So let's just say 2041, right? So that's how many years from now? That's roughly, so that is, 25 plus 10, that is 20, 2035. So that will be roughly 16 years from now. Do you imagine? So my child is in high school and Ruto still has 10 years to go. Oh my God. So, and 10 years to go, that is, so he'll get out of power when I'm 50 years old. So for 25 years, I've been living with the same president. Oh my God, I can't imagine such kind of a world. But anyway, I just wanted to say that, it's something that I found very interesting. I find it very, very ridiculous though. And, I'm just like, but then I'm very, very happy of what has been going on in Kenya right now. Kenyans doesn't, they don't just shut. They're not afraid of expressing their views and opinions, through various channels that they've been able to. And even, by the way, the media has been doing a great job in terms of, speaking against some of these issues that, could challenge the very fundamental values of democracy, and that is, be able to change leadership and elections in, limited political, presidential tenure. These are things that, doesn't exist in semi or total autocratic regimes. And Kenyans are very aware the dangers, because of course the fact that, many people have experienced. I don't know if Gen Z is a population to be worried about, because Gen Zs, we are not into these kind of things. We're not interested in politics. There's so many reasons to explain that, of course, but we are a generation to be worried about, or they are a generation to be worried about, because the fact that we don't participate in these kind of things, um, elections or, discussions or in policy debates, means that a politician could come easily and, just do these things, not because he is a good guy, but because, we are not part of the system. We don't want to be necessarily part of the system that ensures that we have these leaders in place. So it could happen. By the way, they will just bring it to the public, and remember, the people who are the majority of public right now are the youths, the young people. But the same young people are the people who doesn't want to go to elections. They're the very same people who doesn't want to participate in these kind of talks. They're the very same people who doesn't want to, be able to sit down and have a conversation about issues that affect us. They're the very same people who doesn't want to sit down and, contribute solutions that will help, address the problems that the world is going through, that we are going through as a population, as a demography, as a demography in general. So it could happen. But what I want to say is that Kenyans are really good. They're really good at interacting with things as a because it sparked a mixed reaction, among the public, and many people, of course, are not in support of those kind of sentiments, right? So, guys, I wanted to, as you finish viewing this thing, I want to remind you, please subscribe. Please ensure that you share and also you like. And you can also comment down there, because I believe that when you comment, it will be able to, it will improve my content next time when I'm, delivering another, when I'll be, making another video. Thank you very much.